The Brooklyn Nets had a really intense game at Boston as they took on the Celtics in Game 1. It was such an electrifying encounter that at one point, Irving even ended up giving Boston fans the middle finger. The action did have some repercussions for Irving, but it isn't exactly the first time something like this has happened. Stay tuned as we're about to tell you all about it and more news on the NBA. Flipping fans off in style. After carefully reviewing the incident, the NBA has decided to fine superstar Kyrie Irving a huge amount of $50,000 for his obscene gesture during the Brooklyn v Boston game. And what could be worse, losing by just 1 point or losing by 1 point and having to pay $50,000 as well. But to be honest, it wasn't exactly a one-sided affair. Irving had been getting heckled the entire game, and considering that Boston is his former team, it felt like fans also had some other unfinished business with him. Anyway, we'd still like to give credit to Kyrie for handling the situation so well. He pretty much took it all without giving a single reaction. But even if you're a professional basketball player, the heckling can sometimes get to you. When Kyrie probably had enough, he raised 2 middle fingers behind his head, directed towards Boston fans. Talk about style though. He didn't throw some regular middle finger. No sir. Kyrie did a behind-the-back double combo to really get in the fan's head. And we're guessing Brooklyn star player sort of knew that he was going to get into some trouble for his actions. But what's a measly $50,000 for Kyrie Irving? Still, the money may not be important, but your reputation definitely is. Apparently, Brian Sprell, president of the league operations, fined Kyrie for not just the gesture, but also for using profane language. And that's a first because there's literally no video of him having that sort of altercation with the fans. The middle fingers are pretty much all over social media, but there isn't a single video of him using profane language with fans. If that's indeed the case, and Kyrie actually used obscene gestures and profane language, then it's about to get really serious. Irving and the Brooklyn Nets are about to have some really difficult games at the TD Garden. It's really looking like Kyrie and co have awoken Boston fans, and when the TD Garden wakes up, it's a nightmare for the visiting team. Giving back the energy. He had a pretty straightforward answer and thought process behind the whole incident. He said that he works off energy. If the fans are giving him positive energy, he'll give it back. Meaning, if fans are enjoying the game of basketball and respecting the away team, Irving will also respect them and try to put on a good show of basketball. But the minute fans start to get too aggressive and give off bad energy, that's when they should buckle up and get ready to have it thrown right back at them. But apart from that, he didn't really have anything else to say. He didn't say anything like he had any regrets for what he did. We're guessing when you sort of have so many negative experiences with fans of a certain team, then you start believing that they deserve it. Because let's be honest, fans will eventually have to grow up and act more mature. These guys play basketball for a living. They entertain you and get paid for that. They don't get paid for fans to yell at them. A long history. Honestly, we don't think you'll be surprised to find out that this wasn't the first time something happened between Kyrie and Boston fans. In fact, what happened before this incident probably messed with Boston fans more than getting flipped off by Kyrie. The last time around, Brooklyn had a convincing victory over the Celtics, with the final score of the game being 141 to 126. After the heroic team effort, Kyrie Irving was feeling over the moon. He sort of eyed fans and then stomped right on the Celtics logo. It was almost like him saying that we walked all over you today. And if you think that this flipping off incident didn't sit too well with the basketball world, well, wait till you hear about this. You had statements from NBA legends like Kevin Garnett and many others. You just don't do that. Kevin Garnett, ex-Celtic, was extremely disappointed with Kyrie's action at the time. It was something that you just can't do. It's disrespectful for the game, for the franchise, and for the fans. But anyway, the next time the Nets took on the Celtics, fans came prepared. They were all over Kyrie, swearing at him, yelling at him, and even chucking water bottles at him. We're pretty sure that's going to happen again the next time Brooklyn visits Boston. But in the post-match press conference of the stomping issue, Kyrie claimed that he had his reasons to do what he did. He wanted fans to just grow up and treat players like humans instead of acting like they're visiting a human zoo. But the main reason for him stomping on the logo was the underlying racism. He claimed that fans yelled racist remarks at him throughout the game. Again, something that's not really acceptable from fans either. So we're wondering whether something similar happened this time too. Guess we'll just have to wait until Kyrie decides to speak up on the incident. And now, other NBA news. Joel Embiid stuns the NBA world. He buried a three-pointer in the last second of the game that helped the 76ers extend their lead to 3-0 in the first round of the playoffs. It's almost like Joel took revenge for what Kawhi did a couple of years ago. It was almost 3 years ago that the Raptors superstar Kawhi Leonard sank a buzzer beater, sealing a soul-crushing series win over the 76ers. Anyway, it seems like the whole matter has been settled now. But talk about a shot. Joel literally stunned the entire NBA world with the last-second three-pointer. The 76ers pretty much trailed the entire game, but in the last quarter and overtime period, Joel Embiid just took off. At the end of the game, he had a total of 33 points and 14 rebounds. Oh, and not to mention the thousands of haters. And the best part is that Joel had a lot of fun with the shot. After nailing the three-pointer, he casually built bullied Canadian fans and rapper Drake on his way down the court. The worst rule in the NBA. The clear path foul has been getting a lot of criticism from fans, analysts, and now players too. If you don't know about the clear path foul yet, don't worry, we've got you covered. So like the name suggests, if a player has a clear way to the basket and a defensive player makes an attempt to block the way, it's called a clear path foul. In other words, instead of making a play on the ball, the defensive player sort of tries to block the path to the basket. And that pretty much raises questions on every single play. How do you know a player is making an attempt at the ball or the clear path? Like, he'd have to at least block his path in some way to make an attempt at the ball, right? The rule was pretty much hated since the day it was written. Some have even called it the worst rule written in the history of basketball. But hatred towards the rule gained traction after a clear path foul was called on D'Angelo Russell during the Timberwolves versus Grizzlies game. A lot of fans thought that it wasn't even a foul, let alone a clear path foul. But anyway, let's see if the NBA responds to this absurd rule. Jumping into the NFT world. Get ready, as the NBA is about to jump into the NFT world with a really cool product. There's a plan in the works for at least 18,000 NFTs that will be based on players that are playing in the 2022 NBA playoffs. What's the best part about this product? Well, the NFTs will have pictures of players that will evolve with their on-court performance, meaning the better a player performs, the more their NFT will change visually. Sounds really cool, right? But still, with the way everything has been planned on the technical side, including the high gas fees in Ethereum, a lot of fans are arguing that it isn't exactly an NFT product for basketball fans. It's more like a basketball product for NFT fans. It could have been a bit less complicated so that even the average basketball fan could have easily bought one as well. But anyway, if you like basketball and NFTs, you need to get your hands on this collection. It's going to be very valuable. That's it from our side, folks. So, what do you think? Was Kyrie's reaction unjustified considering how fans yelled at him the whole night? Or were there some other reasons that caused such a reaction out of the Brooklyn superstar? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And remember, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos in the future. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
How do they do that?
Don't try to apprehend him.